Adrian Granados was very disappointing in this fight. As far as I'm concerned, he just turned up for a paycheck. He barely tried, and it turned out to be a pretty boring fight as a result. No fault of Conor Benn, it was all on Granados. Now, during the fight, there were moments where Granados, after a round had ended, would raise his hands as if he'd won the round. And he kept on doing it. And it got to the stage where I was thinking, you know what? This guy is going to talk rubbish after the fight and act like he got robbed. This guy's going to try gaslight the public into thinking he put on some type of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler performance. And the scores were read out. He didn't look terribly shocked or anything like that because he's acting at the end of the day. He knows he lost the fight, but he didn't kick up a stink immediately from what I saw, from what I can remember. And I was thinking, okay, maybe it was just a little bit of bravado. Maybe he's not going to try claim that he won the fight. But no, lo and behold, a couple hours later, I'm seeing articles where Granados is saying he was robbed, interviews and all this kind of stuff. And there was even a meeting between the two fighters, I guess backstage or whatever, after the fight. And Granados told Benn to his face that he thought he won. I mean, this guy is having a giggle. I can only imagine he's trying to save face in America and with his fans. Because a lot of them are not, they're not going to watch the fight. They wouldn't have watched the fight. It's not like Granados has got Canelo status over in America with the American and Mexican fans. So maybe he's just hoping to take advantage of their ignorance. And also the fact that Britain has got this reputation for foreign fighters getting a raw deal on the scorecards. Maybe he's thinking he's going to go back over to America and say, yeah, man, you know what it's like over there in the UK. They always rob American and Mexican fighters, man. You know how it is. And all these friends and gym buddies like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, my man Granados got robbed. And they're not even going to watch the fight. And those who do watch the fight are going to have their perceptions colored by this idea that Granados got robbed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they're going into the fight, they're going into watching the fight with that already in their mind. Granados convincing them that he got robbed. But yeah, that's what you call gaslighting. I don't fall for that kind of nonsense. And look, the British fans are going to support Conor Benn regardless, but as a neutral, you can't look at that fight and say that Adrian Granados won with any kind of credibility. He barely landed any punches. He ran all night. And this is a guy who, you know, he has shown toughness and spirit in other fights, but he didn't show it in this fight. In this fight, he did not want to engage. He just wanted to last the distance, collect his paycheck, go home and claim he was robbed. That must have been his plan from the beginning. So, real poor stuff by Adrian Granados. Now, as far as Conor Benn, they're going to have to step him up significantly now, I think. I think he's actually going to have to fight somebody in the top 10. I think so. Top 10, top 15. He's going to have to fight somebody there. I heard Eddie Hearn talking about how he likes the Adrian Broner fight. I mean, Adrian Broner, he blows hot and cold. He's usually cold. But when he's hot, I mean, it's not, I don't know. Maybe most of you guys will think that's a perfectly fine fight for Conor Benn to take on the Adrian Broner fight. Also, Eddie Hearn's talking about the Amir Khan fight. I can't see Amir Khan taking that. I can't see it. I mean, look how long he avoided a Kell Brook fight because he didn't want to lose bragging rights as being the best welterweight in the UK. And I know many of you are going to say he's not the best welterweight in the UK now, but in his mind, I'm talking about. Yeah? So you really think after avoiding Kell Brook for all these years, because he didn't want to lose those bragging rights, he's going to go fight Conor Benn, a guy who hasn't achieved a fraction of what Kell Brook has achieved so far? I can't see it. I know Khan likes a pound note and all that, but he can get a pound note doing whatever he's doing out there in Dubai. And I mean, remember the last time he fought was against some little guy, was it Dib? When he fought Dib? How much money did Khan get for that? I think he got several mil. The Saudis were paying way over the odds for Khan to go in there against ridiculously overmatched opposition. So, yeah, I can't see Khan fighting Conor Benn. I think the Adrian Broner fight might be a little more realistic because I don't think Broner would be worried about going in with Benn. It's just Broner is going to start talking silly money, isn't he? All kind of figures. But if Eddie Hearn can come up with those figures, then maybe Broner will do it, particularly if it's in the United States. You know, I'm not sure how keen Broner would be on coming to the UK. So, but anyway, I think Conor Benn needs a significant step up now. He's going to have to fight somebody in the top 10. Is he ready for somebody in the top 10? I mean, there comes a point in a fighter's career where you have to take a gamble. And people are going to say they've already taken gambles with Conor Benn so far. Other people would disagree. Well, whatever the case may be, they're going to have to take a gamble now, I think. Nothing crazy, yeah? But I do think they're going to have to take some kind of gamble and step him up to the next level. You know, take the training wheels off and just let him go and see what he can do. And if he's good enough, as Eddie Hearn always says, if he's good enough, he'll win. If he's not good enough, back to the drawing board. And he's come through crisis before. Remember those 2 fights with a French guy? I forget his name now. Was it Payno? I forget how to pronounce it. Tough fights. You know, I had to climb off the floor in the first fight. And he's had other fights where it was back and forth seesaw action. So his heart has been tested, Conor Benn. We know that when he gets hurt, he can get up off the canvas and fire back. We also know that he's versatile. He's not just a come-forward fighter. He can actually box. He showed that in certainly the Payno rematch and some of his recent fights. He's actually boxed. So, yeah, time to take the training wheels off and let him loose on the top 10. See what he can do. If he does get beat, hey, he got beat by a top 10 guy. You go back, you regroup, you find some other opponents to put him in there with, and you try again. It's not the end of the world getting beat. You know, I think we really do need to shake this stigma which Floyd Mayweather helped to create, that once you lose your O, you're no good. You know, once you lose your O, now you got business with this guy. You got to do this rematch and do that. Like, come on, bro. Boxing definitely needs to be more like UFC in this particular sense. In the sense that losing a fight isn't as big a deal in the UFC as it is in boxing. Yeah? We need to get that mentality back, the old school mentality in boxing. We definitely need that. It's good for the fans and it's good for the fighters at the end of the day, because there was so much emphasis put on not losing the O that fighters were more anxious about losing their O. They were fighting extra defensively so that they wouldn't lose their O. And this is a spectator sport, folks. So as much as there's skill in defensive boxing, that's not the way to turn boxing into as big a sport as, you know, other major sports out there. That's not the way to do it, by having a bunch of defensive fighters. No. The way to do it is by having fighters be exciting in the ring. And if you are defensively blessed and you are slick, you need to marry that with, you know, hurtful offense, devastating offense if possible, entertaining offense. And to give you a recent example, Adonis Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson was a slick southpaw, but he married that slickness with a tremendously hurtful left hand, and he was willing to let that left hand go. There weren't many Adonis Stevenson fights which you could call boring or dull, despite the fact that, you know, for the most part, during his WBC light heavyweight title reign, he didn't get hit much. He stayed out the way and dropped that left hand on people and scored some spectacular knockouts. All right, Tony Bellew can attest to that. So, yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. Conor Benn defeats Adrian Granados on a 10-round decision. There's no disputing the result. There's no disputing the scores. Conor Benn definitely won. Adrian Granados is having a giggle, trying to gaslight the public into believing nonsense. He needs to get a job with Sleepy Joe over there, you know? Or even over here with the potato in a wig, with all the gaslighting. Catch you guys on the next one. Come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide range of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&A sessions, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got a Discord server where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. There's no contract, no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.